Hello guys, my name is DiegoHernandez, and today's objective is students will be able to add fractions with unlike denominators while using rectangular models. So to start off, the fractions we are going to use to add are 2/5 and 1/6. The way we're going to represent 2/5 is by using a rectangular model. So splitting a rectangle into 5 different sections. Here's 1/5, here's 2/5, here's 3/5, here's 4/5, and here's 5/5. And we are going to be shading in the amount that is in the denominator, in the numerator too. So if there's 2 in the numerator, we're going to shade in 2 of the 5 pieces in the rectangular model. And we're going to represent 1/6 the same way. We're going to split the fraction into 6 different equal sections. And then we're going to shade in 1 of the 6 sections because the numerator is 1. So this is going to represent 1/6, and this is going to represent 2/5. Now, what we're going to do to be able to add these unlike fractions, we're going to convert them into common denominators. And since we know that 5 and 6 have a common denominator of 30, we're going to have to create 30 different sections in the rectangular model. So 2/5 is going to end up as, we're going to use the original fraction, shade in 2, but then you're going to end up using and splitting the 2/5 into 6, going the other way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2/5 is going to end up equaling 12/30. And we're going to do the same thing for 6. So we're going to add and use the original fraction, the original rectangle, split it into 6, 4, 5, 6, shade in 1, and then you're going to split it the other way into fifths, so you could get that 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this will get you 5/30. Now that you have common denominators, you will be able to add them. And you're going to do that by finalizing one last rectangle and splitting it into 30ths by splitting it into fifths first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then splitting it into 6. So you get that 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that will get you the 30ths. And then you're going to add. So you have 12/30ths. So you're going to shade in 12 of the portions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. And then you're going to shade in 5 of the portions because you're going to add the numerators. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that will get you an overall of 17/30. we'll do this. Here's 12 thirds. And here's 5 thirds. And that will get you 17 thirds. Now we're going to use a different set of fractions with the same models. The fractions we're going to be using that we're going to be adding are 1/3 and 1/4. And we're going to be using the same objective, doing rectangular models. So like we did in the last one, we're going to split a rectangle into thirds because that is what the first denominator is. So 1, 2, and you're going to shade in one of those thirds because that is what the numerator is. So this is going to represent 1/3. And now we have to show 1/4. In order to do that, you have to split a rectangle into 4 different portions, going the opposite way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4 fourths. And since you're only going to be shading one of those 4 portions because the numerator is 1. And we can't add these fractions yet because they're not common. They do not have a common denominator. So now what we're going to do is get them to that common denominator. And then in order to do that, remember that we're going to be using the original fraction, 1/3, shading in that 1/3, and then we're going to use the 1/4 to split into the thirds to get you that common denominator. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this will get you 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 12s. 3 times 4 is 12. And remember that this is equivalent to 1/3. Now we're going to do the same thing for 1/4. So we're going to draw the original rectangle, split it into 4 different portions, shade in 1 because it's 1/4, and then split it in thirds now, the other way. 1, 2, 3. And 1/4 will now turn into 3/12. So now that you have done this, we can now add these numbers, these fractions. Now we're going to create one last rectangle to see what it is equal to. So we're going to draw the thirds first. 1, 2, 3, and we're not going to shade it in yet because now we're going to have a different numerator. And we're going to split it into 4s now to get that 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we see that we have 4 12s, so we're going to shade in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 12. But since we're adding, we also have to include these 3 12s. So we're going to add 1, 2, and 3. And you can see that this portion is equal to 4 12s, and this portion is equal to 3 12s. So now that we add those, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 12s. Since this cannot be simplified anymore, this means that 1/3 plus 1/4 equals 7 12s.